is Sheila Launcher. His favorite website is hassle-free-cashflow-investing.com.
Remember the hassle-free cash flow formula. So your ROI, we want to go up, which means your profit is going to be constant, but the amount of cash that you invest, the amount of time that you invest, and the amount of hassle that you invest all go down. So we talked about how to minimize hassle, and now let's talk about how to minimize the amount of cash that you have invested in a particular deal. The obvious answer is working with other people's money, and the cheapest money out there right now is from the government. It's from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, subsidized mortgages. Right now, as of the recording of this video, you can get a 30-year fixed loan from subsidized by Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, so a conventional mortgage, with less than 4% interest per year. That's insanely low. So if you could borrow money at 4% and you could invest that money at, say, 6%, how much money do you want to borrow? Wait. I'm going to borrow it at 4 and I'm going to invest at 6. How much money do I want to borrow it for? Well, all of it. How much can I borrow? I want to borrow all of it. If I can safely invest at 6 and have a fixed cost of borrowing, then that's called arbitrage. An arbitrage is making money on other people's money. And it's legal, and it's exciting, and that's why the returns on real estate are so high. Is you're not making a profit on your money, you're making a profit on your money and the bank's money. So let's figure out some shortcuts on how to evaluate whether a deal is going to be appropriate for the hassle-free cash flow model and if it fits this rule, right? The first rule is we're looking for a 2%, a minimum of a 2% spread between the cost of borrowing and the cost of investing. So this delta here, right, the delta is going to be 2% or greater. And the greater that delta is, the better it is for you, right? So when someone says, David, would you borrow money at 8%? Let me see, would I borrow at 8%? That's a very high interest rate. I would borrow at 8 if I can invest safely at 10, right? Because what I'm looking for is the delta between the two being 2% or greater. Right? And what's exciting right now in the marketplace is you can borrow at 4 and you don't have to invest in crazy risky things at 10 to get any kind of yield. You could invest at 6 or 7% and now you're making a 3% yield on the bank's money. And that's super exciting. So we're going to go through a couple more shortcuts. Hang in there. We're going to get into a little bit of math, and you can stop the video and rewind until you get this math, because it might take you a couple hearings to really sink in, but it's worth it, so just hang in there. One of the rules of hassle-free cash flow investing is we're looking for at least a 2% arbitrage spread, and we're also looking for high leverage with positive cash flow. And this is a big paradigm breaker for some people, because some people think that leverage increases your risk, and that's not true, right? Would you rather, it's not necessarily true, it could be true, but it's not necessarily true. Would you rather have a property that's paying you $200 a month cash flow, one property, or would you rather have 3 properties paying you $100 a month cash flow? If it's the same money invested, would I rather have one property times $200 a month, or 3 properties times $100 a month? Well, it's easy math. I'd rather have $300 a month than $200 a month. Which is a more secure position? 300 or 200 of cash flow? Well, the higher cash flow is more secure. Here's another example. Some people like owning property free and clear. I just want to buy a property for cash, right? So here's the house, and let's say they put $100,000 down on house and it's cash, right? And then they look in their savings account, and let's just say they used all of their savings in the property. They put all of their money into the property, zero savings left. Even though they own it free and clear, let's say the tenant moves out and there's some repairs that need to be made. Well, you look in your savings account, there's nothing there. So even though you made it a free and clear house, you've caught yourself in an illiquid position, and that's riskier than, say, I bought this house over here with no money down, right? $0 cash, or let's just say $10 cash, right? $10,000 cash, and it's $190,000 of financing. And then you look in your bank account and your savings account, and you've got $90,000 cash, right? Same property, and when you look at the risk, well, this person's got 90% LTV. Is that risky? And some people say, yeah, that's risky to be such high leverage. You need to pay cash and pay your mortgages down. And my strategy is based around having adequate reserves. No matter how much cash you've got, you can have more liquidity if you get higher financing. So I'm not advocating taking every dollar that you have and leveraging it up to as max as you could go. That would be risky. So you want to make sure that you're very liquid, you're very cash rich, and also leveraged. Because this liquidity here protects the leverage. This liquidity is insurance against the higher loan to value. This person over here who paid cash and has low savings is arguably in a more risky position than this person who leveraged up as much as they could, and they've got a substantial amount of savings. Okay, so that's one point by using deal structure to make your to be less risky. And then let's look at this a little bit farther, right? So let's say this person here who paid all cash for their property is generating cash flow of, let's say, $800 per month, right? So they're getting $800 a month of cash flow on the property. And then this person over here, their cash flow is going to be a lot less because they have a mortgage to pay. So maybe they get the same $800 of net operating income cash flow, and then they've got a mortgage that's costing them, let's just say, $500 a month, right? So this is their mortgage, and this is an expense. So this person's net spendable cash flow might be $300. And this would be an extremely good deal. By the way, if you could find this deal, buy it. All right, not all deals are going to work this. This is just an example of how it could work, right? So this person over here only invested $10,000, and this person over here invested $100,000. So this person's net return might be 9.6% cash and cash. This person has got 3 times 12 months is $3,600. Divided by $10,000 invested is 36% ROI. So that's our first clue, right? That leverage could be working for us, because this person who took the safer all cash position, their ROI is here at 9.6%, because they're getting $9,600 a year of net operating income, and they have no debt service, right? So that could work, or this could work much better for you, right? Having that leverage. So even though there's a mortgage in place, it's still your return is higher. So let's look at the cash flow, because this person might say, well, I've got $800 a month cash flow, and that person over there has got $300 a month cash flow. Well, duh. Let's go buy 3 of them. 3 properties. So I've got $30,000 invested, $30K invested, plus I have $70,000 where in the bank, making me a very secure position. So I used a lot of financing to get the properties done, but I've got a lot of liquidity to make that a very comfortable, reasonably safe investment, and my cash flow goes up to $900. Free and clear property, $800 of cash flow. High leverage properties, buying 3 of them with $900 of cash flow, and you've got cash in the bank to protect your leverage, to protect your investment from vacancy, from any type of uninsurable loss, to protect you from just your own need for capital in your personal life and being caught in an illiquid position or a liquid position. So financing both enhances your return, it can improve your cash flow, and if you're using that additional financing to improve your liquidity, it actually makes your risk go down.
Help me go to hasslefreecashflowinvesting.com.